China is viewed in the World Economic Sphere as the latest friend of Nigeria. On his official visit to China in April 2016, President Muhammadu Buhari entered into some economic agreements that literally shook Nigeria's erstwhile economic partners, otherwise read masters, to the core. The currency swap with China suddenly sent jitters into the very hearts of businesses in the USA, the United Kingdom, and Europe. As the world awaits the official takeoff of the very high potential benefits to Nigeria of those agreements, Export Digest takes a look today at the prospects of developing an export operation in China. Welcome to Export Digest, your #1 program that periscopes the non-oil export sector with a view to highlighting the opportunities therein and appropriating strategies to harness these opportunities. We also seek to identify and proffer solutions to challenges in the export sector. I am Femi Boyede. Welcome back. One of the strategies that the Nigerian Export Promotion Council has designed to increase Nigeria's non-oil exports is the Nigeria Diaspora Exports Program, NDEP. This strategy targets Nigeria's heavy population in selected countries and continents as a guaranteed export market for Nigerian goods. One of such blocks with high potential is China. Export Digest is today spotlighting an association that has established itself as a very potent bridge that can be used to grow Nigeria's export to China. We bring you today excerpts of an elaborate session with officials of the Association of Nigerian Registered Company Operators in China, ANCROC.
Nigeria to China, there are many, but it's only due to the ignorance. We ignore those goods they are supposed to be moving into China. If I can mention but a few, if you talk something about cassava, you can see palm oil products, even go to the maize, all the other nut and all the rest. All these products can be exported to China, and the demand is there. But only what we need a medium, an appropriate body to organize it, so that the quality will be well maintained. As I'm telling you now, China is importing food products from all over the world. Even you can see okra, the one you call okra, they are shipping it by air cargo always around in China. You see tomatoes, all these things, China buying from every part of the world. So if our government can try and state a body that can oversee all these processes to make sure that the packaging is more safe, then China is ready to consume the product from Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Let's look at it from now the woman point of view. There is an estimated population of 1 million Nigerians in Guangzhou region. Rough estimate, no calculation. Probably 80% of them eat Nigerian foods. That means that there is an available market for 800,000 people to buy Nigerian food. Are these people procuring the Nigerian food they eat from Nigeria or from Chinese stores? That's one part of the question. And then secondly, is Nigerian food being exported to China officially?
That's a very good question. Because what we see in China is that there are Nigerian restaurants, there are Ghanaian restaurants, there are restaurants actually for virtually every country in Africa. But what I have discovered is that most of these things are imported from other states or other countries.
Not directly
from Nigeria. I have seen Gary, and I was ashamed. Gary coming in from Ghana that we have to eat in Ghanaian restaurants. There actually has not been a medium which I believe could be put in place by government. I'm not sure individuals can achieve that feat. If we can arrange or organize things in a way that they will be properly backed, they will have, because this is what I have noticed with the Ghanaian products. They are properly backed, they have date of production, they have expiry date, unlike our own carry and yes, we still find little bits of local restaurants buying from some occasional flyers, like we call them flyers. They bring these things in, they sell them, they use the money to buy. But the capacity or the volume of what to be done, I close my eyes, I can see what China can do with Gary. I close my eyes, I can see what China can do with cassava chips. I close my eyes, I see what, yes, they have some of the things we have. Pepper, yes, but the taste is not the same. And I'm sure a lot of even their own people will go for what. I have eaten fruits in China. That's another example. I have seen mangoes that are not bigger than our average lemon. I'm sure by the time we have cargo planes that can deliver on time without it spoiling, there are people who are professionals in this field. Let's explore China.
Okay, let me talk about ANROC for just the next few minutes. You guys have taken pains to set up a platform that is so transparent, so properly organized. And from what I saw when we were in China, you work hand in hand with the Nigerian mission in Guangzhou. Have you been able to set up such a network in Nigeria that actually allows the Nigerian authorities? I don't necessarily agree with you that government, I'm not a proponent of government must do this, government must do that. And before we end this interview, I will tell you my own thinking. But have you been able to get the Nigerian side to know about the existence of your association and the possibility of them actually using your association as a launch pad to ensure Nigeria-China trade?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Actually, because of our exposure to our missions in Beijing, Shanghai, and in Guangzhou, and as well in Hong Kong. So that's why we are trying to see what we can do in let the Nigerian people of Nigeria or the government to know much about us. So it was one of the reasons why we are in Nigeria right now. So, and out of it, today we are going to the Abusina, and they were so happy that at least there's some Nigerians that they can also rely on. So some of them were the customer again, some of their staff out to meet us. It happened that some of them knew us, and they know our company. So, but how we are going to let most of them or the other Nigerians to know about us, why we are here, and I believe with the support also, we will achieve our aim.
Okay, sir. Government is not looking at you. Government should help this and help that. My thinking, and that represents the thinking of Export Digest, is that an association that is so well established as you could actually initiate and then get government to be interested in. And I would like you to talk about your own reaction. For example, Bosa talked about cargo planes. There are cargo planes that come from the Middle East, that come from China into Nigeria to bring Chinese products in. They go back empty. Isn't it possible for Europe to develop Guangzhou market for Nigerian products? And based on your relationship with Abu Sima, with Nigeria Export Promotion Council, to now have a proper outreach. Say, okay, if we can get 1,000 tons of gari that is packaged like this, we will link you to the market. That's my own thinking of how it's done.
In the first instance, let me buttress what Mr. Ademola just said. I have been in China for 16 years. The reason why Chinese government even gave us precedence in the first instance is to be a bridge between China and Nigeria. And to expatiate on that, we are expected to nurture the Nigerian community. We are expected to inform the Nigerian community of what is available in China and vice versa. The issue now is we need a platform to expose Nigerian products. There's an annual international trade fair that China holds twice.
That's the Canton.
In a year. That's the Canton fair. And this year, almost every other country is represented. I have seen
International Pavilion.
in the international pavilion, I have seen America, I have seen Hong Kong, I have seen Taiwan, Vietnam bringing their products. I have not seen Nigeria. This is something beyond Europe.
No, I disagree.
Okay,
let me just tell you what I'm thinking. Unlock lives in China. Unlock has a stand 3 meters by 3 meters by 3 meters. It's a starting point.
excuse me, I say it is beyond Europe because the Chinese government does not attend to individuals. They attend to organizations and countries. Even if Europe has the financial capability, which we don't have, because we are, in the first instance, Nigerians who come to China are not even patronizing members of Europe. Mr. Ademola here is the biggest black shipping agent in China, not Guangzhou. Mr. Matthew here has almost as big organization that has employed so many Chinese to work for Nigerians. But Nigerians come to China and we will not even look in their direction. We are supposed not only to ship for Nigerians, we are supposed to have them monitor whatever they want to do in China. Inspecting agents. We are supposed to inspect their items for a particular fee. When this is not forthcoming, even our own Nigerian, the business of Nigerians residents there is not booming. How do we get money to represent a country? I believe that is the job of Nigeria Export Promotion Council and Federal Ministry of Trade and Industry. If they can arrange a pavilion, then they can get big companies that produce made in Nigeria to come and partake. That is one aspect. They can bring in raw materials to showcase our yam, our sweet potato, our plantain. All those things will go in China because they are nature-based. They can be used in their factories, they can be consumed by us, they can be consumed by the Chinese.
Yes, I understand how passionate you feel about this, and there's information for you. Nigeria Export Promotion Council support ANROC, Abusima, Nasima, and all the SIMAs. Federal Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment. There is a bridge already existing in China that can actually go beyond currency swap. Currency swap. That's what we've celebrated. There can also be swap of trade. There can also be swap of goods and services. And on this note, I think Export Digest.
I will like to chip in another very important aspect. Our stays in China is not for nothing. In America, before America does anything, they consult their people on ground. Our experience cannot be bought. You can't find it in any university. You can't open a book and see it. How we can add value. We have lived, we have seen, we have experienced how Chinese did their thing that made it work for them. 25 years ago, Chinese were going to America to work as migrants. They all brought the totality of their experience to bear on their country's development, and it's working wonders for them. I met a Ghanaian girl, a 28-year-old girl, who told me, I met her in China in Brazil. She told me she is a member of the brain box that was created by their president to see whatever that is positive in China that they can add value to their country. Do we have anything like that here?
Well, we do have Nigeria's in Diaspora Organization. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. It's one of the platforms that I think you should introduce yourself to.
We are aware of it, but we are not recognizing we Nigerians live in China. And the value we have, the experiences we have, is not than those in the UK and the US. Nigeria is looking at how the economy will be developed. They need to consult Nigerians also living in China. We have a lot to come into.
Thank you very much for helping me out, because that's a very good note on which to close this interview, and to wish AMROC and all of you well.
Thank you so much.
And to pledge our continued support and whatever we can do as Export Digest to put it in the public out there. Nigeria's public, as far as Export Digest is concerned, includes the government, the private sector, the bridging agencies, and I'm sure they're all watching us now. They have listened to you, and I wish you well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Today on Export Digest, the Corporate Affairs Commission enlightens our viewers on yet another subject of corporate importance to your smooth operations of your business in Nigeria. Please stay with us.
The policy of direct registration was introduced in 2012 as part of the Investment Climate Reform Program of the federal government. The intention was actually to reduce the cost of registering companies and the time it takes to register. Hitherto, a prospective customer has to go through either a lawyer, a chartered accountant, or a chartered secretary before he could access the services of the commission. That had increased the cost of registration, because apart from the statutory fees that has to be paid, the prospective customer has to pay the professional fees of either the lawyer, the chartered accountant, and the chartered secretary, which in most cases was higher than even the statutory fees. So because of all these concerns, and the concern generated by Nigeria's ranking in the World Bank Doing Business Index, the federal government decided that the use of lawyers, chartered accountants, or chartered secretaries should be made optional. So any individual can approach the commission on his own to reserve the name. After reserving the name, he can prepare his incorporation documents, get it signed, But because of the statutory requirements that a declaration by a legal practitioner that the requirement of the Act had been complied with must accompany the incorporation documents, so the Commission could not dispense with that. But the major difference is it will cost very little to get a lawyer to deposit that declaration, as opposed to where that lawyer was engaged to prepare to reserve the name, prepare the documents, present it, collect the certificate, and deliver to the customer. So that has substantially reduced the cost. So as part of ways of making these services available to ordinary Nigerians, the Commission introduced direct registration desks in all its offices across the country. The direct registration desk provides these services to anybody. You can walk into the Commission, introduce yourself, sign the register, submit the proposed name, you pay the necessary fees. But with the online registration now, anybody can create an account on the corporate company registration portal, reserve his name, do his registration services by filling in all the information and submitting online. So that has actually reduced costs, and it has saved a lot of burden to ordinary Nigerians that may not afford the services of the lawyer.
On Export Tips today, we will look at a few more terminologies relevant to export trade. This time, some terms that have to do with your contract. 1. Cost and freight. C&F is a pricing term indicating that the cost of the goods and freight charges are included in the quoted price. 2. Costs and insurance is a pricing term indicating that the cost of the product and insurance are included in the quoted price. 3. Cost, insurance, and freight. Another pricing term indicating that the cost of the goods, insurance, and freight are included in the quoted price. And 4. FOB, free on board, a term in international commercial law specifying at what point the seller transfers ownership of the goods to the buyer. Under the Incoterms 2010 standard, published by the International Chamber of Commerce, FOB is only used in containerized sea freight and also defines ownership transfer. And now to the question of the day. As usual, the first correct entry gets a prize courtesy of Jaraja E-Commerce Limited. That is how far time will permit us on Export Digest for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We believe you have added to your knowledge of doing export business in Nigeria, as one of our objectives at Koinonia Ventures Limited, the initiator of Export Digest, is to enlighten and educate you in all ramifications as it concerns non-oil exports. You can watch this particular episode and others before it on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/exportdigest. We will also like to hear from you as we work towards making Nigeria a viable exporting nation. Our channels of communication are open and now showing on your screen. Many thanks to our sponsors for their contributions to the development of Export Digest. You also can showcase your businesses, goods and services on this program. Feel free to come on board by calling us today. and you will surely have value for your involvement with us. Join us same time on this same channel next week for another eye-opening package of Export Digest. I am Femi Boyede. See you then, and God bless Nigeria.